What's going on, guys? Welcome to the ER Therapist channel, where we talk mental health and life strategy for your well-being. My name's Eddie Reyes. Today we're going to talk about why you might be attracted to the Dark Triad man. In this video, I'm going to share with you my thoughts and opinions on why you might be drawn to a Dark Triad man or woman. I know the title says Dark Triad man, but there are definitely Dark Triad women out there. Getting involved with someone who has these traits is always bad news, while at the same time invigorating. It's attractive, and I'm going to explain to you why you might be drawn to it. By the end of the video, you'll not only understand what the Dark Triad is, but also hopefully avoid getting pulled into a lose-lose situation. At the end of the day, you got to protect yourself from pitfalls of being attracted to the Dark Triad individual. First, let's break down what the Dark Triad is. Some of you might not be familiar with the term, but there are many people out there who have these traits. So what is the Dark Triad? What is it? What are you talking about? Let me share with you a quick definition to frame the conversation. So the Dark Triad is a psychological theory of personality first published by Delroy Palhus and Kevin N. Williams in 2002 that describes three notably offensive but non-pathological personality types: Machiavellianism, subclinical narcissism, and subclinical psychopathy. Each of these personality types is called dark because each is considered to contain malevolent qualities. People with these traits often exhibit cold-hearted nature and manipulativeness, willing to do or say almost anything to get their way with you. They have an inflated view of themselves and are often shameless about self-promotion. We see a lot of that in our culture. This is the narcissistic portion of the triad. These individuals are likely to be impulsive and may engage in risky or even criminal behavior, displaying a complete disregard for how their actions affect you and others. Let's check out this chart and let's read out some of these traits and get familiar with it. As you can see, the Dark Triad there: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. Machiavellianism, you see reputation, cynicism, strategic calculation, tactics. Psychopathy, charm and superficial enchantment, impulsivity, vulnerability. You know, these traits are in combination can be very, very confusing to someone and actually be attractive, as we're going to talk about this in this video further. They can draw you in and they can actually make you feel wanted and then not wanted, and it's a very, very attractive situation. But when you break down the pieces of what this is, there's no reason why you should be attracted to this, but I'm going to explain to you why you might be. Now that you have an idea as to what the Dark Triad is, how in the world would someone be attracted to this monstrous cocktail of personality traits? Well, let's lay down some foundations and frame this explanation with the fact that I believe people who have trauma, vulnerable or weak-willed, confuse a healthy person who is confident, has direction and leadership, and can influence you with sincere care and love with Dark Triad traits because their lens is damaged and compromised, and they cannot identify the malevolent behaviors of the Dark Triad man or woman. That's very important to understand that. You see, the Dark Triad individual will use Machiavellianism to convince and manipulate the person. A traumatized or naive individual can confuse this with some sort of leadership or influence, but it's clear manipulation. When it's all said and done, the individual isn't even thinking their own thoughts, but rather captivated by the cult-like manipulation mechanism that the Dark Triad has. Psychopathy is another trait within the Dark Triad, as I showed earlier in that chart, which brings risk-taking, charm, impulsivity, to name a few, which can give a lost individual with no direction. And we know there's a lot of people today who are lost in direction and are searching for meaning. They can confuse this individual when they provide this type of impulsivity and suggestion as a sense of direction. Finally, narcissism can be confused with attention and love to the vulnerable or traumatized individual with love bombing and the push and pull technique. If you want to know more about the tactics of narcissists, I'll have a link in the description box so you can check it out. Also, I want to direct the attention to the women who have been hurt by someone who has some of these characteristics tend not to fully recover in many instances from this horrid experience and confuse healthy, confident, intelligent, and purpose-driven men with toxic masculinity. I don't believe in those terms, but I'm using the terms that they utilize. Often these women who have been hurt by Dark Triad men confuse good, solid men with toxic masculinity. We must be objective in the analysis and always remember, traumatized individual will have their lens skewed negatively. It's very difficult for a traumatized person to be objective. All right, lovely people, if you enjoyed the content, hit like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment for us. Thank you so much for sticking around, and remember, ego isn't your amigo.